have said hello before, but I thought it was worthwhile me just spending a little bit of time going through some of the expectations for this course, particularly as we've moved into Canvas. And I want to make sure that you know where things are and that what it is that you need to do. So my name's Kath Nolan. I'm your facilitator for the course. I really hope I get to meet you face to face, or at least speak to you on the telephone as we go. But just in case that doesn't happen, I'm going to try and put my noggin on video every now and then so that at least you know there's a real person at the other end here. So before we begin, because we are starting out on a serious endeavour, I'd like you to just plant your feet firmly in the earth or your bottom firmly in the chair where you are, and just with me acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which you sit. For RMIT, that they are the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and I would like on behalf of all of us to pay our respects to their elders past and present, and to any of you and any of those that you will be working with in the internship who are traditional owners. So I am your first port of call. I'm your course coordinator. This course is run out of the college as well. So Shona Leach, who is the head of learning and teaching for the college as a whole, is the person that you go and contact if you're unhappy with me. Please talk to me before you do that if you need to. But really, Shona and I will be working together to make sure that this is a great experience for you. So who am I? I'm a lawyer. I work in the Graduate School of Business Law as an adjunct. I also work in the MBA programs. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a mum. I've got kids, one of whom is probably older than some of you, one of whom is definitely younger than all of you. I got a couple of dogs. I have a busy life, as you can probably see by the post-it notes in my study. That is my to-do list, yes. But I love working with you guys as interns. You can contact me by email, you can contact me through Canvas, you can contact me through the discussions, and you can pick up the phone and speak to me. If I can, I will meet with you face to face. I'm on campus at least one day a week, and I usually try and make face-to-face meetings that happen that way. But we can also communicate via video link, and we can get a group of us together. That's the best way to do it. On the whole, I'm pretty good at responding to emails, I think. You'll probably hear from me within 48 hours. If it's urgent and you can't get me on the phone, send me a text message, tell me it's urgent, and I will ring you back. If you haven't heard from me as quickly as you would like, that is probably because I have just missed your email. I get a lot of them. So just email or text me or call me again. Don't be shy. Yes, I've already said that. I am happy to consult with you, and I am the person that you need to talk to about accessing Canvas, questions about your enrolment, questions about the discussion board's assignments, any admin issues. In some cases, you might have me as your academic supervisor. Sometimes you'll have a separate academic supervisor. You will know that. It will be made very clear to you. If you're wondering, that means I'm your academic supervisor. That means you need to talk to me about everything. What are the objectives of this course? They're many and as varied in some ways as you are. Basically, this is a subject where you get the opportunity to go and work in an organisation, either in short bursts. Some of you will be travelling overseas with partner firms that'll give you the opportunity to go and intern in one or more locations. Some of you will be working inside organisations you already know. Some of you will be travelling to other parts of Australia. Some of you will be working a day a week. Some of you will be doing clerkships or internships or graduate programs. Some of you, or pre-graduate programs, like summer clerkships, winter clerkships. Some of you will be doing special projects in your own organisation. Basically what this subject does, and it's offered across the whole of the College of Business, is gives you two opportunities. One is to work inside an organisation and experience what it is like to work and to use your discipline knowledge in your work. The other is in a structured way to reflect on that learning and to spend some time in a safe environment setting up a program for what it is that you want to get out of the nature of work, and then how you're going to work in that environment, and then assess yourself in some ways against the plan you set out at the beginning. So, on successful completion of this course, you should be able to integrate and apply some discipline knowledge from your program in a practical workplace context, be able to communicate effectively with a range of specialist and non-specialist audiences about your discipline and about your work, to demonstrate the capacity to work collaboratively in an organisation. And for many of you, the way that we will do that is by using the discussion forums as a proxy for collaboration, for having a conversation. And you will also be required to critically reflect on the design, implementation and evaluation of a work-based project or placement. So different programs means different experiences, and I mentioned those before. We have approved over time a range of different experiences, and one of the things that you'll get out of this program is the ability to see what others are doing in their graduate programs as well. So the thing that I know you always want to ask right up the beginning is, what is the assessment? There's one thing I really want to bring to your attention here. You are going into the placement to do what I hope will be amazing work, but in fact you won't be assessed on how well you work in your internship as such. Now there's a whole lot of reasons and a whole lot of other ways that you'll get feedback on that from your workplace mentors and supervisors, from potentially clients, from people that you interact with in the workplace. But when it comes to actually assessing your marks, that will come not necessarily through the quality of the work you do, instead from the quality of the way that you reflect and assess yourself in doing that work. So let me explain further. The first task that you have, which is due at the end of the third week of the semester, requires you to complete a small number of readings, to branch out from those readings if you can, and you wish to, and to have a better understanding of the academic discipline of reflection, and then using the tools that we've introduced you in those readings and other tools that you might, or models that you might call upon either from your own discipline or from your own experience, or from your additional reading, to make a plan for what it is that you want to get out of your own assessment. So you'll need to ask yourself some useful questions. A number of them are listed on the slide here. You'll need to think about what your key motivations are, and then as you work out a list of goals, you also need to think about how you're going to measure those goals, whether you've achieved them or not. At what point you're going to continue to assess whether they're the right goals or not, and how you will know whether or not you're achieving the things you set out to achieve. The assessment criteria will help you here. I mean, I'm very happy for you to be strategic and to do all the things that you need to do to get the best mark. But I also want you to take a little bit of time to make this task really count, to help you have all of the things that you need to get the most out of an experience that will go by very, very quickly. So I'm really challenging you to find a disciplined way to decide what it is that you're looking for, and then to check back in to make sure that you in fact get what you're looking for out of the experience. The second task requires you to participate in a discussion board. I'll ask you to participate in at least 5 discussions by the end of week 11. There are a number, 8 or 10 seated discussions already and waiting for you in the discussion board. Again, with the functionality that we have in Canvas, every week or so, I'm going to initiate a new discussion. You can pick one of those as well, and we can initiate those into the assessment tasks. I need to see you in at least 5. You can certainly participate more often than that. The way that it'll work is your best 5 marks will count. You are required, because this is an academic course, to cite your sources. You are not required any longer for this particular subject to put anything through Turnitin, but be warned, I will put it through a similarity checker myself, and I will call you out if you haven't acknowledged all your sources and that you haven't dealt with assessment or, the acknowledgement of those sources in an appropriate way. So in the discussion board, I want to keep it as interesting as we possibly can. I'm also really open for you to initiate discussions. If there's something's troubling you, if you want to put a problem out there to get the wisdom of the crowds, that would be fabulous. So we'll expand on those discussions as the semester moves forward. Again, I would caution you to make sure you have a look at the assessment criteria. There are rubrics in the discussion area as well. We're looking for some particular things. They link back to those course outlines that I spoke about earlier. I'm looking for you to talk about ways that, for example, you use your discipline knowledge in your workplace. I'm looking for you to demonstrate deep reflection, ideally using the tools that have been brought to your attention or that you've pulled out of your additional research. I'm also looking for evidence that you collaborate. And all of those things are reflected in these assessment criteria that are on the slide now. Now you'll see that reflective practice is actually only a smaller component of that assessment, overall assessment. The reason for that is that the other two assignments have a significant weighting in the reflective praxis. So in the discussions, I need to be able to see you identify the use of your discipline knowledge. I need to see you considering and evaluating different points of view. And also I will be assessing you in relation to the way that you communicate, because that is a key course learning outcome for this course. Now your big assignment, essentially a 2,000 to 3,000 word piece, is your reflective practice report or your annotated portfolio of work. I will give you some more detailed feedback on how to put that together a little later on. But for now, what I'm asking you to do is to make sure that you collate evidence of your work, and while you're reflecting on it, usually in accordance with the plan that you set up at the very beginning, you'll be taking notes ready to basically push this out at the end. So make sure you're aware of what this task is. It's due in the last week of the semester. The dates will be in Canvas so that you can see exactly where they are. Make sure you use the calendar function in Canvas to give you a really good heads up as to when tasks are coming up. So I'll provide you with an extra recording that will deal with what the annotated portfolio is. I'll provide you with some examples of that reflection task and some examples of the early reflection tasks as well. I really caution you not to copy those. What I'm really looking for, or in giving you those in advance, is to help you be as clear as help you by being as clear as I possibly can about what the expectations are. So make sure you have a good look at the assessment criteria for this task as well, and keep that assessment criteria in mind over the course of the semester as you gather evidence that you can share. Now, some of you won't be able to give me evidence of your actual work. That's particularly the case with law students, but not only law students. I find with law and HR in particular, though, there are privacy and professional confidentiality reasons why you can't actually share your work. For that reason, we need often a reflective practice report is more useful. Lastly, just want to have a quick word about preparing to get out there. I want you to think about what your role in the organisation will be. You need to remember that you're there to learn. It's actually a big deal for organisations to take somebody on for only 12 days. Whilst I know most of you will not be being paid, the reality is there is a huge cost to the organisations who take you on. Usually it's quicker and easier for them to do these projects themselves, but they recognise that they benefit from the new and fresh ideas that you bring to them. But it is an extra amount of work for them to set you up, to provide you with space for those that do, and to really brief you properly in relation to the project. So be respectful, be grateful. Many students do end up with jobs that come out of these internships, but that's not the purpose. And if that is something that follows through, that's great. But don't go in there on day one asking for a job. That's not what the process involves. Having said that, do ask lots of questions. Remember the 5 whys. Keep going back over and over again and understanding why you do things. A couple of things that you might like to be aware of. You are covered by the university's insurance while you're working. That's one of the things that will agreement that you were asked to sign yourself and to get your employer to sign if they've not actually given an internship before does. So the policies cover things like public and product liability insurance, professional indemnity insurance, employment's occupational work and safety, etc. So if something does go terribly wrong, first, please tell me anyway so that I know. But if we need to go draw on the insurance policies, we can do that. As I mentioned before, a significant number of students do obtain employment as a consequence of their placements. But once students complete their program requirements, employers can negotiate future arrangements directly with you. We don't have to have anything to do with that. This is, as I said before, an outcome, not a goal. What is my role as your academic supervisor? Depends again on what the program is. Your academic supervisor, if they have put a project together with a partner organisation of the university, will be involved in briefing you, will be involved in checking your work along the way. Generally, if I'm your academic supervisor, then I'm the person that you check in with if you've got questions. I won't be as closely aligned with what you're actually doing in the workplace as somebody at the university would be if we were in fact sponsoring the project. If there are performance concerns, then your performance at the workplace can have academic consequences. So if you are found to be dishonest, for example, if you are found to breach company policies in relation to safety, in relation to the way that you treat or speak to others, those things can have academic discipline concerns. Your employer would raise those with me, with somebody else in the industry, in the the workplace area. Obviously, we will find the best way that we can to deal with those problems. Let's hope that they don't arise. But do remember that you represent the university while you are on your placement or in your internship to a degree. If you've got questions, please ask me. Please put them in the boxes underneath here. Probably should have done that at the beginning, but at the place where I haven't been clear, if you can put your question, I can see what you're talking about and answer them. Join in the discussion boards. Give me a call. Looking forward to working with you. As I said before, there will be some more on the 3rd assignment. But in the meantime, good luck with your first assignment. I'm looking forward to reading them. Cheers.